Manjushri said to the Buddha, "World Honored One, throughout many aeons in the past, since a long time ago, I have cultivated gurus and my wisdom has been certified as unobstructed. I have already certified to unobstructed wisdom. Unobstructed wisdom is the four unobstructed eloquences or the four unobstructed wisdom. The four unobstructed eloquences are: 1. The unobstructed eloquence of Dharma. The Dharmas spoken are very reasonable. Though it is one principle, it can be broken down into millions and millions of principles. Although they are millions and millions of principles, they can be classified into one principle. 2. The unobstructed eloquence of meaning. 3. The unobstructed eloquence of phrasing. Words said really make sense. 4. The unobstructed eloquence of delight in speaking. One enjoys talking. When I hear what the Buddha says, I immediately accept it with faith. Since I, Manjushri, cultivated my jnana dharmas in the past, I believe instantaneously what the Buddha says. But hearers of small attainment, such as sound hearers, those who enlighten to conditions and positions in the Theravadan tradition, gods, dragons, and the rest of the Eightfold Division, such as Yakshas, Gandharvas, Asuras, Garudas, Kinnaras, and Maharagas, and all beings in the future who hear the first command's true and sincere words, will certainly harbor doubts. Look as truthful as the Buddha's words are. They are still skeptical, not to mention my disciples. Someone does not believe in my explanation of the sutras and wants to run away. It is no wonder, considering what Manjushri said about how all of the Eightfold Division does not believe and questions the Buddha's spoken truths. Some people think it is very normal to hear sutra lectures. Actually, it is one of the most difficult and rare things to hear sutra lectures live, especially in the United States. How many places offer lectures following lines in the sutra text and explaining the meaning word by word? None, or extremely few, in Western countries. Although few Westerners who hear the true Buddha Dharma do not recognize it either, because they do not understand the Buddha Dharma. For example, people who have never seen gold will treat gold. You hand him as copper. Another example would be to treat diamond as glass. Similarly, explain the true Buddha Dharma, and because they do not recognize it, they consider it ordinary and external rather than internal. Actually, how can you understand the inner if you do not even understand the outer? You must try the two-pronged approach. You cannot cultivate without understanding principles. You cannot understand principles if you do not cultivate either. Understanding and practice must correspond. Understanding means to understand the Buddha Dharma, and practice means cultivating according to the Buddha Dharma. When Shakyamuni Buddha explained this Earth Star Sutra, even Manjushri Bodhisattva raised his concern about sound hearers of the small attainments, Eightfold Division of God, dragons, and others, and all beings in the future will not believe it, since they do not have enough good rules. Although they hear these honest words the Buddha articulated, they are skeptical for sure. Even if they receive the teaching most respectfully, suppose they receive the teachings, it is only temporary because their faith only lasts for a short period of time. For instance, some people take refuge like others, but they have now no faith because their heads are full of deviant knowledge and deviant views. They do not understand the proper Dharma when you explain it to them. They do not know what they hear. They will still be unable to avoid slandering it. While Shakyamuni Buddha was in the world, Manjushri Bodhisattva suggested, "My only wish is that the World Honored One will proclaim for everyone what Earth-Star Bodhisattva Mahasattva practiced and what vows he made while on the level of planting causes. I wish you, World Honored One, will say a bit more about Earth-Star Bodhisattva Mahasattva, this great Bodhisattva. What practices did he cultivate and what vows did he make in lives past?" We make vows. No matter the vows, we must fulfill our promises and do what they say we will. We cannot deviate from that no matter what kind of hardship or difficulty according to our vows. That now enable him to succeed in doing such inconceivable deeds. This Earth-Star Bodhisattva, however, achieves this type of inconceivable state. Sutra. The Buddha said to Manjushri, by way of analogy, suppose that each blade of grass, tree, forest, rice plant, hemstock, bamboo, reed, mountain, rock, and dust mote in a 3,000 great thousand world system was a Ganges river. Then suppose that each grain of sand in each of those Ganges rivers was a world, and that each dust mote in each of those worlds was an aeon. Then suppose that each dust mote accumulated in each of those aeons was itself an aeon. The time elapsed since Earth-Star Bodhisattva was certified to the position of the 10th ground is 1,000 times longer than that in the above analogy. Even longer was the time that he dwelt on the levels of Hira and Pratyeka Buddha. Commentary. The Buddha said to Manjushri, Shakyamuni Buddha told Manjushri Bodhisattva, "Let me give you an analogy. By way of analogy, suppose that each blade of grass, tree, forest, rice plant, hemstock, bamboo, reed, mountain, rock, and dust mote in a 3,000 great thousand world system was a Ganges river." We are not talking about just one of each of these items, but all the grass, all the trees, eatable rice plants, usable hemstocks, etc. How many bamboos and reeds are there in the 3,000 great thousand world system? Can you count all of them? You cannot. Lots of dust motes become mountains. There are so many things in the 3,000 great thousand world system. If each item was one, what would be the total? If every blade of grass counted as one Ganges river, then the number of Ganges rivers that existed would be uncountable. Not only every blade of grass, but every tree, forest, rice plant, hemstock, bamboo, and reed too, to count as one Ganges river. One item is one Ganges river, two items are two Ganges rivers, three items are three Ganges rivers, four items are four Ganges rivers. The number of grass and trees are practically infinite, so there would be infinite Ganges rivers. This means that there are so many that the figure cannot be calculated. If each item were to turn into a Ganges river, how many sand grains would be in those Ganges rivers? Then, suppose that each grain of sand in each of those Ganges rivers was in the world. If every sand grain in all those Ganges rivers were a 3,000 great thousand world, and that each dust mote in each of those 3,000 great thousand worlds was an aeon, then suppose that each dust mote accumulated in each of those aeons was itself a great aeon. The time elapsed since Earth-Star Bodhisattva was certified so the position of the 10th ground is 1,000 times or more longer than that in the above analogy. Even longer was the time that he dwelt on the level of hearer and practical Buddha. Not to mention how long Earth-star Bodhisattva was South hearer, how long he was a Sravaka, how long he was a practical Buddha. Earth-star Bodhisattva's conduct and vows have been in existence for a long time. Sutra Manjushri, the awesome spiritual strength and vows of this Bodhisattva are inconceivable. If a good man or women of the future hear this Bodhisattva's name, praise him, behold and bow to him, call his name, make offerings to him, or if they draw, carve, cast, sculpt, or make lacquered images of him, such pupil will be reborn in the heaven of the 33 100 times and will never fall into the evil paths. Manjushri, indescribably many aeons ago, during the time of a Buddha named Lion Sprint complete, in the 10,000 practices first come one. Earth-star Bodhisattva Mahasattva was the son of a great elder. Commentary. Manjushri Shakyamuni Buddha called out, the awesome spiritual strength and vows of this Bodhisattva are inconceivable. Which Bodhisattva is the Buddha referring to? Earth-star Bodhisattva. His awesome virtues, spiritual powers, and vows are inconceivable. To save all beings with profoundly heavy offenses, he uses his awesome might to subdue them. He made these vows. Unless the hells are empty, I will not become a Buddha. Until all beings are saved, will I then certify to Bodhi. He wants to save all beings before he becomes a Buddha. If there is one being who has not been saved, he will not become a Buddha. That is why it has been so long and he is still not a Buddha. When this being is saved, another comes. It never ends. Either that being is becoming born, or that being is passing away, or that being is passing away and this being is coming into the world. There are 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times more living beings becoming born than passing away. Let us calculate and see if there are more deaths or births in San Francisco right now. Deaths come after aging and sickness, whereas a birth only requires 10 months of pregnancy, a relatively shorter period of time. Since people have to wait a few decades to die, there are millions, many more births than deaths, which makes Earth-star Bodhisattvas work so hard that he cannot realize Buddha even now. But does he regret it? He does not regret it. The more living beings there are, the more jobs he has. Without living beings, he is out of work and he goes on to realize Buddhahood. There is not much to do as a Buddha either. So Earth-star King Bodhisattva looks for things to do when there is not much to do. He was very much at leisure, but he would rather be busy all day saving living beings. This is Earth-star King Bodhisattva's vows. Why did Earth-star King Bodhisattva make this kind of vow? He feels that he is one with living beings. If living beings do not become Buddhas, there is not much significance to his becoming a Buddha either. He is here waiting for living beings because his causes and conditions are about being one with living beings always. Earth-star King Bodhisattva's vows can never be fathomed or understood. What we have talked about is just one small portion of his unimaginable and unspeakable vows. If a good man or women in the future hear this Earth-star King Bodhisattva's name, praise him for his incredible vows, spiritual powers, and compassion. They introduce everyone to Earth Star Bodhisattva. You have heard this sutra, so you should introduce the compassion and vows of Earth Star Bodhisattva to every colleague, relative, or friend you see. Reflect to Earth Star Bodhisattva makes vows like this. So, what should I do? Should I make a tiny vow? Perhaps becoming a Buddha after I deliver one living being to Buddhahood. Perhaps becoming a Buddha after I deliver two living beings to Buddhahood. I do not make any great vows, just little vows. Even that would mean that I have not wasted listening to the Earth Star Sutra. If you simply let it go by so that the Bodhisattva is the Bodhisattva and I am me, he and I do not have too many connections, then it is as if you did not hear it. For instance, men should make vows about saving their ex-friends and they have become Buddhas. Women should consider this. I had a dearest boyfriend before. Now that I am cultivating, I'm going to make sure he becomes a Buddha first, then I will follow. Make vows like this. Avoid Amitabha Buddha takes his own. Mahasatva cares about no others. Perhaps you say, I am really young and have never had a boyfriend or girlfriend. You have mom and dad. Make vows to save them so they become Buddhas. But if your parents have already passed away, you have siblings. No sibling, you can save your friends, make vows targeting someone or some group. If there is no one else, you can say, I will make a vow to save my Dharma brother so that he becomes a Buddha for sure. You may laugh at me, but I will tell you, if any disciple who has taken refuge with me does not become a Buddha, I will not become a Buddha either. I may not have vows as huge as an earth-stalking Bodhisattva, wanting to save all beings so that they become Buddhas. I qualify it with those who have taken refuge and disciples who truly believe in me. If such people do not become Buddhas, I will wait for them. Even if they fall into the hells, I will go down to the hells to fight them. This is not too bad either. It is quite great. It takes many lives of planting gurus to encounter a teacher like this. Behold and bow to him, call his name, recite the holy name of great vows of Earth Star King Bodhisattva, as we explain the Earth Star Sutra now. My words, Earth Star King Bodhisattva is really amazing, are praises. Incantations of homage to the great vows of Earth Star King Bodhisattva are recitations of his name. Make offerings to him. Now that we have invited the elder Earth Star King Bodhisattva here, we make offerings by lighting incense for him daily, bowing to him and making him offerings of fruits. Or if they draw a colored picture of Earth Star King Bodhisattva, not even on wood, but just a drawing of this Buddha image, makes your appearance adorned and perfect. There are 32 hallmarks and 80 minor subsidiary characteristics to the Buddha. Draw a Buddha image and you will be better looking. Draw 2, even better. Draw 3, 4, 5 millions and millions, then you will have the 32 hallmarks and the 80 subsidiary characteristics. In general, drawing Buddha images and making Buddha images will make you very good looking. Cast skulls or make lacquered images of him. Such people will be reborn in the heaven of 100 times. One drawing of a Buddha image will lead you to become reborn in the heaven of 33 for 100 rounds. These 100 rounds include not only births in the heaven of 33. Someone who draws a Buddha image will first be reborn 100 times in each level of the 6 desire heavens and the 18 heavens of the form realm. the 3 heavens of the first dhyana, the 3 heavens of the second dhyana, the 3 heavens of the third dhyana, the 9 heavens of the fourth dhyana, and even the heaven of the station of neither thought nor non-thought in the formless realm and others. Before he is reborn in the heaven of 33 100 times, he has been born in each level of the desire realm, formless realm 100 times. This is a long time, and will never fall into the evil paths. As long as you praise, behold, and bow, recite the name, make offerings, or make different images of earth-stalking Bodhisattva, then you will never fall into the evil paths. Manju Sri Bodhisattva, indescribably many aeons ago. There is no way to say how long that is or how many aeons that is. This is just as incalculable as the analogy used earlier for a long period of time. If each blade of grass, tree, forest, rice plant, hemp stalk, bamboo, reed, mountain, rock, and dust mote in the 3,000 great thousand world system was a Ganges river, then suppose that each grain of sand in each of those Ganges rivers was a wand, and that each dust mote in each of those wands was an aeon. Then suppose that each dust mote accumulated in each of those aeons was itself an aeon. This number is bigger than and more difficult to calculate than the number representing the amount of force required to send a rocket to the moon. We are using math to calculate the force needed to shoot a rocket into a certain spot in space, to stop it, and to orbit it. After the exact figures needed for fuel have been calculated with mathematics, the rocket is shot into the atmosphere. This is calculable. However, no matter how advanced mathematics develops or how precise science gets, there is no way to calculate the number of aeons that a stalking Bodhisattva has gone through.